Hello again. We have made it to Friday. I hope everything is going well. So today's lesson, we're going to be brushing up on multiplication starting today and for the next, probably about the next week. So the main thing is today's lesson, we're going to be using the area model, which is where we break it down by place value. A lot of students really like multiplying with this method. I really like multiplying with this method. The goal with math is really that we're giving you lots of different tools so you can solve the problem in whichever way you're most comfortable with. So next week we're going to get into the regular algorithm, and most students, use the regular algorithm just well, and that's kind of their preferred method. Some students stick with this method I'm reviewing with you today, and that's just fine. And some students use both equally well, and so depending on the problem, they actually kind of bounce between them. So let's say I had a number that was like 7,321 times 4. One way that I can solve that number is I can break that number up by place value. So remember, remember this box method? We'll see if that's big enough. I can break 7,321 up into 7,320 and 1. And I turn each of these into their own boxes. I think I'll do a bit bigger one next time. And then 4 here on the side. So then I just have to multiply these out. 4 times 7 is 28, and then I am going to do it bigger because you guys can't really see it. So what I can do is I can break 7,321 up into 7,000 plus 300 plus 20 plus 1, and I can multiply each of those by 4. There we go. And go chunk, chunk, chunk. So now 4 times 7 is 28. So 4 times 7,000s is going to be 28,000. Remember, I can take those zeros and put them on the end as a pretty little present. On the next one, I can do 4 times 3 is 12, and then add on my 2 zeros to get 1,200. 4 times 20, well, 4 times 2 is 8. Add on that 0 is 80, and then 4 times 1 is 4. Remember, these zeros we can add on pretty little presents onto. So now I just have to add up all those numbers. 28,000 plus 1,200 plus 80 plus 4. It seems like it's a lot to add, but because there's so many zeros, it actually goes really quick. So 0, 0, 0, and 4 is 4. 0, 0, and 8 is 8. 0 and 2 is 2. 8 and 1 is 9, and then keep my 2. So my answer is 29,284. So let's try another area model problem like that. Let's say that I had, let's just pick like 4 times 3,281. So remember, to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the 3,281 up by place value. So I'm going to go 3,000, and then 2 hundreds, and then 8 tens, and 1 ones. And then I'm going to draw my area model, my box method, and multiply that by 4. And I just start multiplying. So 4 times 3,000s is going to be 12,000s, or 4 times 3 is 12, and then I can add the zeros onto the end. Next, I do 4 times 2 is 8, or 4 times 2 hundreds is 8 hundreds. I add those zeros on the end. 4 times 8 tens is going to be 32 tens, or 4 times 8 is 32. Add that 0 on the end. 32 tens is the same thing as 320. And then 4 times 1 is 4. And next, I just add those up. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 4 is 4. 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 2. 0 plus 8 plus 3 is 1 in the basement, 1 up in the attic. 1 plus 2 is 3. and then 1. So 4 times 3,281 equals 13,124. Again, I'm just breaking it up by place value. Now, there's actually all sorts of funky tricks you can do. Once you kind of have this basic method down, you can kind of do some tricky stuff with it. So, like, let's say that I had 5,927 times 6. Okay, so this is one kind of funky way you can do that, is you can actually still break the 5,927 up into 5,000 plus 900 plus 20 plus 7. But what you can actually do is you can take that 6 and break it up into 2 and 2 and 2. Because some people really like to multiply by 2's, and so they would rather than multiply by 6, they'd rather multiply by 2. So then, instead of becoming like a one-way grid, we kind of get this giant grid. And at some point, you know, getting it more tricky doesn't really actually give you any extra benefit, but it's kind of interesting to think about this way. Because then you know, 2's are really easy to multiply by. So I can do 2 times 5,000 is 10,000, but then I can fill the 10,000 in each of those boxes, right? 2 times 5 is 10,000, 2 times 5,000 is 10,000, 2 times 5,000 is 10,000. And then this next one over, I can do 2 times 900. Well, 2 times 9 is 18, and then put in my 2 zeros. Then I can put those also down here, because remember my original number was times 6, but I changed my times 6 into 2 plus 2 plus 2. So I can put those 1800s in there 3 times. Now the next one over is 2 times 20 is 40, and I can fit in 40, 40, and 40. And then 2 times 7 is 14, 14, 14. Now this is just kind of a fun challenge way, because for most people it's going to be quicker just to solve it. But it's kind of fun to think about, to say, well, here I know right off the bat 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 is 30,000. And then 1,800, 1,800, 1,800, I can add those up down here. And we'll see if we can, I'll have to bounce back and forth. So 0, 0, 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 4. Regroup the 2, 1 plus 3 plus 1, 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. So then that would be 5,400 up here. This one, 40, 40, and 40. Well, 40 plus 40 is 80, plus another 40 is 120. And then 14 plus 14 is 28, plus another 14 is 42. And so I can add those up. 2, 6, 5, and then 35. So 5,927 times 6 equals 35,562. Again, this big, I mean, doing a huge grid like this, most of the time, I mean, this is way more calculations than if you were just to do it the regular, either the area model way or the other way that I showed you. But some of you might be getting questions like this just to see how your fluid reasoning and abstract reasoning is, which is important. It's important to help you with math as you get further along. It gets a little bit more complicated. So thanks so much for watching. If you need to rewatch this example, you can, but I think, you know, most of you should just be getting questions like this, which I think you should be fairly strong in. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic week.